Oh, we're on. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Insights and Innovations with the IMAA for this Monday. Today, we have our very special partners, and it's their first time presenting with us as they've just joined. So they're one of the newest friends of the IMAA. It's REA Group. Very, very excited. They've been talking to us for many years about joining, and we're really, really excited to have them here. I think one of the conversations was with Rob on a golf course many, many years ago, but really excited to have them talk with us today. They're going to give a bit of overview of what they do, which is important, what they need to know. Also, their latest movers research. So that is their latest research that pretty much no one's seen in the industry. So you'll be seeing that, and then there'll be a prize at the end and a short survey as well from these guys. So we're going to kick off with REA with Glenn Corver, I believe. Glenn, is that the way you pronounce it?
Yes, that is
Did I do
correct.
okay?
You did
Okay.
well.
Glenn, over to you.
Thanks, Sam. Hello, IMAA. Firstly, thank you so much for having us today to host our first ever webinar. Yeah, we're super excited to be in our first year as partners of IMAA, and yeah, look forward to having you over the next hour with our very first webinar. Just before we get into things though, I'd just like to acknowledge the traditional lands of the Wurundjeri peoples who have cared for and protected it since time immemorial. As the business has grown and established offices around Australia, we're grateful for the custodianship of the traditional owners of country across all lands and recognise their continuing connection to lands, waters and communities. We pay our respects to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander cultures and to elders past and present. Now, in terms of an agenda for today, firstly, you will be meeting your REA team and state representatives, followed by an REA Media 101 presented by Lil and Ramsey, and they'll just be discussing our audiences and flagship site. And then finally, we'll run through our recent movers research piece that we've conducted in partnership with the third-party marketing research company Stardust, just to find out the trends of people's moving journeys and how it can assist with your media strategies. Wonderful. In terms of who looks after what, so this is essentially your media team here at REA. So from left to right, we've got Lil Lou, who looks after Vic and WA. We've got Ramsey, who looks after New South Wales, M Changizi in Queensland, and myself, I look after South Australia. We've got our fearless leader, Rob Hudson, who is our media director, and we've also got a fabulous brand partnerships team headed up by Britt White and Jess Satkunam, who you will be hearing later on for the movers research. We also would love your feedback as well at REA. So just while we've got it on the screen, there is a QR code. Please take a picture. We will obviously show this slide at the end again, but please, we'd love to hear your feedback. And you'll be able to potentially win a robot vacuum. I have one myself and they're super, super handy, especially if you have pets. Awesome. I will now hand over to Lil and Ramsey, who are going to do a REA 101.
Cool, thanks Glenn. So yeah, today I'll be taking you through a bit of an REA 101 about our audience and our offering, and then Ramsey will go in a bit more detail about what products you can look to activate on site. So when you think of us, realestate.com.au might just pop into your mind first, but we're definitely more than that, more than just a property listing site. Beside our main website, realestate.com.au, we have Real Commercial for all things commercial property, property.com.au, which is quickly becoming a go-to for property research, Flatmates, which is making house sharing easier and more popular than ever. We also have customer product, property data, and are in the financial services space as well. Plus, we are growing our global footprint with Realtor in North America and REA India. Realestate.com.au is a beloved household name and part of a daily life for millions of Australians, guiding people through one of life's most important milestones, which is finding a home. So on average, every month, we have 12 million monthly uniques, and of that, over half of them exclusively use our platform. I really think this slide here just gives you a sense of how far our reach extends and the scale of our audience as well. Looking at how we stack up against other online brands, so we reach more Australians than any other news site, and we not only have a high number of users on site, they are more engaged as well, with users spending an average of 40 minutes on site every single month. We really like to view ourselves as a lifelong partner in the property journey. So we really work with brands alongside them to connect them with customers at their most significant property milestones. Whether it's moving out for the first time, starting a new career, or having a big change in your life, like starting a family, we're there to help brands connect with their target audience and have an impact in these moments. So in our platform, we gather and utilize two types of key data, declared and inferred. So this data is essential in creating audience segments that allow you to target relevant users no matter where they are on the property journey. So things like page values, so we know what area they're searching in, where they're interested in buying or renting. Search refinement, so we track details such as, what price property are they looking at? What numbers of bedrooms are they looking at? So for instance, if a user consistently searches for 3 bedrooms or more, we can start to infer that they're a family. Declared attributes, so we have logged in users through the My REA memberships, and they have really, really valuable insights that they have directly told us about themselves and their preferences. Contextual terms, so what are people searching for? Is NBN a priority for them, or do they want to be near public transport? Content consumption, so by analysing what type of content they're looking at, so renovation guides or refinancing tips, it tells us where their user is on their property journey. Consumer data models, so these help us categorise users into high intent or early intent, and then you can base your messaging off the back of this as well. And last but not least, we have interactive tools on site, including home loan calculators, rent calculators, and renovation tools, all that you can target off the back of and help you inform your audiences better. So all this data really helps us and you better understand and connect with our audience during the property journey. Before I hand over to Ramsey, I just wanted to mention that we have a variety of REA first-party segments that you can target across the formats that he'll be discussing. Here are a few examples, but if you have any specific audiences in mind, please don't hesitate to reach out. So we're happy to collaborate with our team to develop a tailored audience solution for you. And then I'll hand over to Ramsey now.
All right, thank you, Lil. So today I'll be talking to you through about how you can activate with us, the products we use, and how in which we use our audience to speak to our users. So Lil briefly explained how we create our first-party data audience through various ways of data collection. And now I want to show the funnels in which we can communicate them to our property seekers. So basically, there's 4 main categories in the funnel, like awareness, consideration, engagement, and performance. So basically, like whatever your goal may be for your client, while we offer a suite of products to speak meaningfully to our users, whatever journey they may be on, from a stage 1 to 2 to a 3 and 4. Yeah. So I want to begin with content. And content is a great way to tell a story for your client and build rapport with our users, fostering brand loyalty and longevity. Our articles do really well on site. We get a minimum page view of 15,000, and it's amplified through socials like Facebook and Instagram, for example, as well as across our own website too. We also offer diversified articles like competitions, videos to complement the articles, how-to guides, renovation, styling, and pieces and so on. And you can see some examples here as well. Some lead gen entry form pieces, some bespoke video ones as well. Cool. And now onto display. So following on from content, we've got a high impactful display suite of products which should complement articles well, should you choose to go both routes. With display, you can convey your client's message across realestate.com, as well as realcommercial.com and property.com as well, to reach our users at the right moment in their property journey. Basically, our suite of inventory can help achieve various objectives ranging from brand awareness to direct engagement as well. Some examples of this are the roadblock, in which we have a little demo here, which is currently being played. It basically gives you 100% share of voice of the whole search results pages on our website. the native assets as well, which are a really personal favorite of mine because they just look really nice and sit nicely between the search results pages and look organically grown on our website, not interrupting our user experience on the site as well. App sponsorships, as well as also one-day app mobile takeovers, which is quite a recent one for us, which basically allows your client to have 100% share of voice takeover of the app for a whole entire day, generating millions of impressions and heaps of click engagement too. Viewability packages, which offer 70% plus viewability drivers on site as well. Of course, video, which goes across our lifestyle sections as well, and just our standard IB products like our photo map skyscrapers, your medrecs, your half page, and your leaderboard headers. So yeah, all these products relate to our funnel in the marketing mix as well. Okay, now REXT is a new one as well. With REXT, basically, this allows you to target our audiences off network, which Lil spoke to before. So basically with REXT, brands can reach our audiences offsite using our first-party data. Basically, this is activated through high impactful display, video, social media extension, as well as audio, allowing brands to speak to our users once they've left realestate.com.au. Okay, so there's four essentially main ways to buy through us. So that's through direct, and this is through our direct account partners who would be designated to your campaign. It's a 5K minimum spend per month. Of course, you can get first-party data through this, and also monitoring performance as well as offering optimizations, ensuring you get the best return on investment from your media dollars. Of course, programmatic guarantee, which is another 5K minimum spend per month, which allows you to use first-party data, and it's also a high auction priority with also guaranteed delivery too. Private marketplace too, which is another one a lot of people like to use as well because it offers flexible trading and you're allowed to have a bit more control of your media spend. This is of course utilizing our first-party data targeting too, however, no non-guaranteed delivery. And our Surf Promote self-service too. So this is quite a unique one, and this basically offers users to just get their feet wet. Should they want to do a booking under $5,000, you're allowed to spend as little as you like or as much as you like where impressions are available. And with this one, it is quite limited. You can postcode target, however, you can't utilize our first-party data audience. And the sizing is limited too with a half page and an MREC. The title is hyperlinked too, so if you wanted to create a profile and have a play with it, you can do that too. This is a great one for small businesses if you just want to, if you service a small community or you want to target minimal postcodes. I feel that this is a great tool for that. And now I'll be handing over to Britt and Jess to talk through movers.
Thanks, Ramsey. Hi, so we're Britt and Jess, and we'll be taking you through our REA movers research. And I just want to share as well, only a select few partners have seen this, and this is the first time that we're presenting to our agency friends. So couldn't be more thrilled to share it as a new IMAA partner. So why are we focusing on movers? We know it's a primary trigger to reevaluate a household spending and many of the services that you use within your house. So think internet, home insurance, etc. Secondly, moving is a key catalyst for bringing about many other behavioural changes as your environment and living situation also changes. So not only is it a key moment that matters, there's a massive cohort of Australians that are moving every single year. From the ABS census, we know that 12% of households move every year. And within households, there's approximately 2.5 people. So we're talking about millions of people who are moving every year. On realestate.com.au, we are continuously tracking these moments with 2.3 million people intending to move, visiting our site every month. So why is it important to speak to intenders? We know that moving is hard and it's stressful, so it's imperative that you start communicating to this cohort before they enter the moving cycle. So once they narrow down their search for products or services, it could be too late for your brand. So a little bit about the research that we conducted. We started conducting this series with an ethnographic diaries that tracked movers over 3 months. We wanted to really ensure that we go beyond surveys and get into the psyche of movers and why they're moving. We then conducted 20 follow-up interviews to understand the breadth and depth and uncover the why behind their behaviour. We also wanted to ensure that we had a level of robustness and rigour to this. So we surveyed over 1,600 movers, and it was pretty evenly split between buyers and renters. This research, as Glenn shared before, was also conducted by an independent research company, Starburst Insights. We wanted to ensure impartiality and objectivity to the findings. And then lastly, this research was fielded in the back end of 2024. So just ensuring that this is really quite hot off the press as well. So today we'll be covering 5 key themes that we uncovered through the research. So we sliced and diced the data and found that these key themes were consistent across cohorts, irrespective of demographic and psychographic differences. The first theme is what we're calling worth the effort. So moving, like any other major life event, is never easy. So think about starting a new job or starting a family. It's never easy. It takes work and effort, but time and time again, we heard from movers that moving really was the same. It was hard, it was emotional, but once they were settled, they all stated that it was worth the effort. So moving is emotional, and we all know that, but we wanted to understand which emotions were strongly elicited throughout the journey. So you and your clients can know which positive emotions that they can tap into, but also what negative emotions they need to alleviate when speaking to movers. We tested a series of emotions and found that these were the top 3 emotions that came across really the whole moving journey. Starting with pre-secure. Before you even find the place, you can see overwhelmed is really quite high. This is when people are uncertain where they're going to be living and how long until. Once they moved, we start to see that excitement really come through as you start to plan and envision your new home. Then when it comes to the moving day, that feeling of overwhelmedness really comes through again. Then when we get settled, it's that sense of relief that comes through really, really strongly. And this is what movers are saying about the move.
It is currently the day before the move. We have removalists coming tomorrow morning, Saturday. I am feeling surprisingly calm.
I feel like it hasn't hit yet. I think once we get the keys, we're in, then it probably really hit.
It's part of it moving property. It never comes with any instructions.
Felt very overwhelming. We had heaps of boxes in the room, stuff everywhere.
Now that I'm currently in the property for almost 2 weeks, I'm feeling a lot more relaxed and settled in.
Things are gradually starting to feel more like home, and we are starting to feel more settled.
So moving in 2025 is taking longer than what it did 5 years ago. With a tight housing market, it's harder to find a place, but also once movers do, it takes longer to feel settled. You add in the cost of living, budget pressures, and the whole process in general feels much longer than what it did. So moving is hard, it's emotional, but it's also taking longer as well. So the next theme is on fresh starts. There are some key moments in life where you want to make a positive start and change in your life. So think about the start of a new year, the start of a new job, and in this case, moving house. Moving house is really one of those few true fresh moment starts in life. Katie Milkman, who is a behavioural scientist, really calls this the fresh start theory. From a behavioural perspective, movers are changing how they live their lives. So 2 in 3 movers are looking to review their lifestyle, their health, fitness and habit routines. 1 in 5 are starting a new hobby. So not just playing a guitar like the icon depicts, but, you know, they're thinking about gardening. They're thinking about going out for more walks. 3 in 5 are getting out of their comfort zone and trying new things. So they're receptive to change in their lives and they welcome new communications from you. So similarly with changes to their behavior, they're also making changes to their finances. 1 in 5 are getting a new credit card and a similar portion are buying a new car, while almost half of them are taking some type of renovation. So we're seeing a lot of change from movers in how they live, but also how they spend. And I think it's really ranges from full personal rebrands to life's little tweaks. Moving house isn't just about changing your address or switching up your utilities, though that happens too. It's also a time when people start looking for new cars, new credit cards, new clothes, new gyms, but also a new me. And here's what movers are saying.
The funny thing about a move is I think it makes you look at everything with a fresh perspective again. And you assess, I think was the word you used, you assess things. Say, well, look, my car does the job, but wouldn't it be better suited for something else? And that's something you probably think a bit more about now that you've sort of gone to a new environment. I guess you could say a new chapter.
I mean, we joke about it, but I think we already are thinking about just, new habits, new routines, that this new phase of life can bring with it.
Definitely a change, but I think it's a good change. Like, we're happy to kind of move and do something different, and we sort of feel like, you know, life is for living. Just go try something new. If we don't like it, we can do something else.
So despite cost of living pressures, movers want to switch up their style of the place, whether it's putting in solar, snapping up new furniture, a new cat toy, a new bike, a new composting system. And yes, these were all responses that our movers told us. Movers are also eager for home glow-ups and making the space feel like their own. So 63% are looking to style their home. 49% are prepared to stretch their budget. And looking at budgeted versus actual spend, we see that they spend almost twice what they planned across all categories. So across furniture, white goods, electronics, etc. We know that they're spending. And here's an excerpt from one of the movers' diaries. So a buyer said, "We bought this previous sofa only about 10 months ago and we loved it, but it doesn't quite fit within the new space. So we approached the same retailer and again, said this is the size of the room. Can you come up with some sort of design?" So with this, there's a couple of ways on how we can capitalize on spending behavior based on their justified decisions. So firstly, framing. Many movers state that they could make household purchases after spending a significant amount on a home. So this is really quite higher within that buyer category. They've been holding out for that major spend. The second is delay spending. So after holding out on making purchases for the home in the lead up to the move, movers are more prepared to spend higher on big ticket items, knowing that they will be in place for the foreseeable future. Momentum. Movers are keen to complete the look that they had envisioned for their home. This could be buying a coffee table to match the couch or a new rug to match the new floors. Movers are prepared to spend to ensure it fits their aesthetic. And then lastly, bundling. So while they're prepared to spend, movers are also keen to find a deal as well. So any items that your clients or brands have that could be bundled is highly, highly welcomed as they have considerable outlays. Now I'm going to hand it over to Jess to take us through the second half of the movers research.
Thanks, Britt. The third theme is the financial review that all movers go through. So as well as being a chance for a fresh start, moving is also, one of those rare opportunities where people are forced to review their budget line by line. If I asked you how much you spent on coffee, you may not know. Most people don't know how much they spend, let alone how much their partners spend, which can be confronting for many. While people certainly are spending where they want during this time, they're also looking to save where they can. Moving prompts Aussies to look at all of their household expenses at once. So all the way from the $10 a month subscriptions to the bigger $300 monthly bills. And suddenly what seemed like a small spend or saving in isolation, like that sort of $5 here or there, feels much more meaningful. Movers are actually thinking about bundles rather than the normal separate accounts. This is another phenomenon of social science called mental accounting. It's a term coined by Richard Thaler, a founding father of behavioral economics, which explains people tracking their expenses in these separate so-called mental accounts. A key area that's under review is household utilities and ongoing expenses. So pre-move switching rates haven't increased since 2019, even though many movers still change at least one major provider. However, post-move switching has grown. Movers told us that they wanted to get through the task of moving or even just get a better understanding of their usage before making an assessment. So there is value in engaging with movers for longer than you may have previously, as that switcher mindset is certainly still active, even though the mover has settled. Here's what some movers are saying.
Look, I guess it was the fact we were moving, like we've been a bit slack in the past, haven't sort of really gone and done a comparison, but it was just thought, okay, we're moving, let's see what's available out there. It's a bit like, when your phone contract comes up for a year or something like that, that's sort of at the top to look at it.
I just wanted to look at like where we could cut back on other things. It only saves like a couple of dollars, but yeah, I don't know, just yeah, I definitely wouldn't have done that before, but just was like looking at all of it, I thought, okay, I'll just do all these things at once.
Life insurance, my income protection, my household content insurance, all I'm going to include my car.
So as the moving process becomes more time consuming, driven by issues like finding a place in a tight market, movers are looking for ways to streamline their experience. And one area where they're cutting back is that moving admin, which includes less time actively spent researching service providers. There's also more and better information out there. More government websites, clearer direct websites, comparison engines are all reducing the time to research. And less time means fewer opportunities to influence at the pointy end. So brand messaging really needs to be relevant, clear, always on, and ideally starting much earlier in the journey. You want to already be cemented in their consideration set when they go to research, compare, and visit your site. The fourth theme is called Easy Does It. So we wanted to look at not just how has the research journey changed, but also what are the key drivers of choice when people are choosing a provider? How does this differ across category? And in a cost of living crunch, how can you compete on aspects other than just price? Despite the wallet crunch, movers still want providers who offer more than just savings. So while price might spark the initial search, there are other factors like ease and experience with the brand that can actually seal the deal. Looking across the categories, we can also see that ease is a top driver for internet, energy, and insurance, and often is more important than just being the cheapest provider. Studies in customer service also show that reducing the amount of effort a customer needs to exert during a stressful time, such as obviously moving, can drive customer loyalty and satisfaction. And ease is really important because movers want to make sure that the rest of their life keeps running smoothly. So over half of movers working or studying from home, no one wants their internet cutting out mid-Zoom or mid-Teams, which is a distinctly post-2019 problem. Almost a third of movers had school-aged children at home. Of course, internet's super important for schooling. And almost 3/4 had pets, which heavily influence their decisions, which is understandable as they are an extension of the family. And that's why it's about a lot more than price for movers. They need providers who can deliver smooth, reliable service. So the big life stuff, work, pets, family, keeps ticking along without a hitch. Here are what some other movers were saying.
to being clear about what the steps are. So as I said, like when you contact your provider, just having it literally step by step. This is what you're going to do. Once you've done that, you go to step 2, 3. Just basically making it as simple as possible so that it's as clear and precise, so that there's no grey area.
A clear communication and confirmation by the providers. We want to make sure we were organised when we move in, so that we're not left stranded without power or internet or whatever.
If I have to choose between customer service and pricing, I would choose customer service first.
So we've established that ease is obviously important, but we wanted to unpack what does that actually mean to a mover. And in the research, we uncovered 5 themes that led to a brand becoming considered as easy to deal with. The first is being a big brand, being seen, being heard in market. From this, customers could infer that you're reputable and easy to deal with, which gave them a high degree of confidence. Second was offer clarity and being able to assess and compare your offer and what was right for them. The next one is on creating frictionless experiences. So movers are already doing several tasks at once, and they need their service interactions to be as seamless as their service connections. The fourth theme was around proactive communication and being forthcoming with status updates. If the customer has to, repeatedly reach out to you, that's time and mental energy that's being expended during a time that's already stress-inducing and time that could be better spent. Finally, it's being able to supply that continuation of service. So, having peace of mind that they could go through their move and not have to worry whether or not the lights would be on once they got there was essential. The final key theme that was uncovered was around the shift being digital. So I guess we often think of moving day as potentially those 1 or 2 days over a weekend when you pack all the boxes into the van and move to the new house. But moving is actually a lot more like that 12-week journey, with the vast majority of it happening online. While some of that is doing the admin, the not so exciting stuff, a lot of it is actually that positive anticipation in the lead up to what your new home and new life will look like. Much like a holiday where you get, 12 months of positive equity in just having something to look forward to, moving often has the very same positive emotional store, and it's often a distinctly online experience. So moving day might be physical, but moving is certainly digital. So from dream scrolling, new dining tables to evaluating different energy, insurance and telco providers online, moving house is highly screen driven, and screen moving, quote unquote, starts early. So almost 20% of people start picking out their new home decor and style before they've even found the place that they're going to live in. And less is being done over the phone. So particularly when it comes to younger people, they don't want to call up and speak over the phone, and they want those answers quickly and easily and immediately online. And when it comes to the use of realestate.com.au, it's no longer just the place where you find your home. We know that people are looking at their new home, they're sharing the pictures and floor plans, they're looking at their neighbour's house and seeing what that's worth, taking screenshots of the bathrooms and kitchens for inspiration, and so much more. REA is being used both in the lead up to, as well as post the move for more and more reasons. Here are what a few more movers are saying.
Yeah, you don't call up anyone anymore. You don't go into a brick and mortar store to get your gas and electricity and internet provider anymore. It's all online, really. Like 80% of our move was online, and there was just that 20% to go in and get those bits of furniture that we bought new.
A few houses over the years, and whenever I'm looking somewhere and I'm not really sure where I'm looking, I'm like, always start with realestate.com.au.
I have everything on Instagram. I've got folders, and I've got a house folder, and that is my dream. That is my dream scrolling. I've got hundreds, thousands of images that I save on that. And and I suppose I would flick through those for some inspiration of what I can do here.
Search with the Pinterest, Instagram, saving photos of inspo pics, just on my phone, making a folder. Then if I see that item, we'll just either buy it and then try and work out how we can afford it.
So I used it from the get-go with looking for a place, looking in our inspection, but also still looking in that area, like if the prices are moving up, the median average, and then also looking at the other houses we looked at, what they went for, what else is new out there. So yeah, I've used it just as much now as I did prior to getting the house.
It's fascinating to hear it in their words, but yeah, it really goes to prove. So realestate.com.au does continue to be used by movers ongoing, with people using the platform for much more than the initial search. Almost half are continuing going back to the listing of their property even after they've moved. They're looking at their neighbourhood, they're checking the value of their property as well as that of their neighbours. And almost a third are looking for inspiration. What could their new house look like? What could a renovation do to their property? What might the next step in their property journey be? Realestate.com.au also remains the place to be for all of consumers' property needs. If you've seen our latest brand campaign, you'll see that it encourages Australians to keep moving. And as a business, certainly our ambition is to keep growing too. If you clock that analogy at the beginning of the presentation, we attract an average monthly audience of 12 million Australians, which is about 120 SCGs for every month. And property is not just about the destination, but the journey, with people actively engaging and spending an average of 40 minutes on site each month, more than 3 times that of our nearest competitor. And while we know, and you've probably heard us say, that Australians are property obsessed, the proof really is in the numbers, with over 1 in 3 Australian properties, which is about 3 million homes, now actually claimed and tracked on realestate.com.au, which is up 46% in terms of those owner tracks year on year. Just to recap the 5 themes that you heard today. Firstly, there's no denying that moving is hard and that it is emotional, but once people were settled, all of our movers stated that it was worth the effort. Moving house is one of the few true fresh start moments in life, offering a rare but opportune moment to embrace change on all fronts. It's also an opportunity to take stock of all of life's expenses, big and small. So while, yes, people are spending more where they want during this time, they're also looking to save wherever they can. And despite the wallet crunch, movers still want providers who offer more than just savings. So while price might spark the initial search, it's heuristics like ease and service that can really seal the deal. Finally, while we may think of moving as that one kind of big weekend, in reality, it's a much longer journey and a distinctly online experience. Thank you so much for making the time to join us this afternoon. Obviously, we covered a lot, but hope that you found these insights useful. We're really excited to be partnering with the IMAA, and we just want to remind you that your REA media team is here for whatever you need. Today's session has been recorded, but the pack will be sent around following the webinar. We do also have deeper dives into categories like banking and finance, insurance, telco and utilities, even auto and retail. So if you've got clients in those categories, please don't hesitate to reach out. And you'll have until end of day, I think, to scan this QR code, complete the survey. Please do, to go in the chance to win the RoboVac, and the winner will be contacted tomorrow. Thanks so much for your time again, and we look forward to working with you.
Thanks, Jessica, and thanks the REA team, and welcome to the IMAA family formally. We can't wait to engage with you this year and see you at our events and support you guys. So thank you so much for your support. So guys, fill out this one as well as in the comments, fill out the other one as well. Just like to make sure that'll take you about 2 seconds to fill out the other one as well as this one. Unfortunately, our one, you don't win a vacuum cleaner. You might get a phone call from me if you're lucky. That's probably second prize anyway. But these guys have got a vacuum cleaner, so it's pretty good. Just a reminder, we are 2 days away from Independence Day. This is our big conference. Now, if you have not got your tickets, you can stream it. Please share it with your clients, with your staff. It's going to be an absolutely fascinating couple of hours and some really big surprises there. So I can't wait to see you tune into that. Thank you, everyone, and we'll talk to everyone soon. Bye, guys.